everybody.
Hey friends.
It's Taylor
And Ashlee.
Normally you say it first, so I was a little scared. Okay, so obviously you read by the title, today we're going to be swapping quiet time routines. We're really excited to do it. But obviously, if you aren't hiding under a rock right now, you know that there was a major travesty and injustice done, and we're grieving the loss of George Floyd right now, and we don't want to beat around the bush and not bring it up because I think it's really important to talk about this.
We are grieved from the bottom of our hearts, and there just has been a heavy cloud over us because of just the injustice that's going on.
I just wanted to say that I don't want anybody to think we're coming on here talking obviously the elephant in the room is that we're white, and so I don't want to come off in any way that seems like we're insensitive towards the subject. I literally don't know what else to say because I'm not black and I'll never know what it feels like to be in their shoes, but we also want to stand up for what's going on right now because we don't want our nation to continue going down this path of just racism and destruction and discrimination. Yeah, we just want to love one another as Christ loved us.
At the end of the day, every human being is made in the image of God, and we all deserve dignity. We all deserve to be valued and loved and cherished, and no matter what skin color you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what language you speak, no matter the color of your hair or anything, like, we're all made in the image of God, every human being, and we're all deserving of dignity. And so that's just something to remember as you're interacting with other people who aren't like you, who are different than you, to remember that differences aren't the enemy. Differences aren't evil or bad, or, oh, because this person eats these foods or lives this way or does this, that doesn't mean I should hate that person or condemn that person. And I think that's one of the hardest things as a human being, is that we tend to dislike other people who do things differently than us or are different or XYZ. And at the end of the day, Jesus calls us to love everybody, and Jesus calls us to lift others up and to put yourself aside for other people, no matter the differences. And so that's what we're coming back to, and that we're all made in the image of God, and it's my prayer that God would just help us to love each other and to honestly set ourselves aside to love each other. So we haven't done a video together in a long time.
yeah, and you know what, we're with each other all the time. So
If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. This is my sister Taylor. I see a lot of new people in the comments. They're like, oh my gosh, they're like the cutest friends, or are they twins? And I'm like,
oh yeah,
no, we're just sisters. We're about 3 years apart. Today we're gonna be swapping quiet times, and I'm really excited to see what your quiet time is like.
yeah, should we just give it to each other without knowing?
That's what I'm wondering. Should we just give it to each other and
I
then...
think we should, and then we'll explore what happens after.
Here's mine. I thought you were gonna comment on the cuteness of it.
I was about to comment on it,
Thanks.
young lady. Mine I did not do cute. I did
It's adorable.
okay, well, I'm really excited to do this. Yeah, we'll
Quiet
see
time
how it
swap.
goes. We'll see. Honestly, one thing that I was excited about is to see what other people do, like what Ashlee does, and see if I want to incorporate anything new into my quiet time or just change it up and see how it flows with
So
me.
I should just take the camera with me, and you're gonna take a camera with you, and then we'll just kind of vlog as we go along. Cool.
Okay, I'm so excited to see what she put down on her little doodity. So she has this absolutely gorgeous sheet that tells me exactly what she wants me to do. And of course she decorated it. Mine looks like Weenie Hut Jr. compared to that. Quiet time. Number 1, sit, rest, and pray in silence until you feel ready to move on. Let any thoughts come to mind and pray through them. I'm putting on my not so cool headphones. I feel like strangely like a Teletubby in this, but they work great. This room is off limits.
You haven't started yet, baby.
Yeah.
Well, that's not live or anything.
No. What are you going, poop in there?
I'm going pee.
You can shut the door on your way out.
Yeah, I'm not going to do anything.
So I just did her first step, which was sitting, resting, praying in silence until I feel ready to move on and to let my thoughts come to my mind and pray on them. And so that's what I was doing. I have been having, like, I'm not sure how in depth I'm supposed to go into this video, but I figured I might as well just tell you because I mean, we're here. So just yesterday, our school emailed us and told us that they're choosing to go to campus, like have students come to campus next fall, and we've been kind of waiting for a word on that because we weren't sure how things were gonna go out with the coronavirus and everything. And I also just want to say I was gonna do something more formal, but I did decide to go to Moody Bible Institute. I was accepted into Moody and I was accepted into my sonography program that I've been trying to get into. I'll link my vlog down below, but basically I was rejected by my sonography program and it was really hard for me to understand why I went through all the classes I did and why that was happening to me when I felt so strongly that I was supposed to go there. And then a little turn of events happened in a few months later. They emailed me and told me that they wanted me and that they created a spot for me. But I had already also got into Moody, and so I was just having to pray for a really long time on what I wanted to do with that, and I ended up choosing Moody. So I'm really happy about that, but I was just praying to God to help me with anxiety and like guilt and regret, because that's something that I've had ever since I was a kid, where I feel like when I'm faced with a decision, like I'm really indecisive, and when I make a decision, no matter what I choose, I feel anxiety and I feel guilt and I feel like a twinge of regret. Like no matter which one I would have picked, I just feel uneasy about. And so I'm really happy I'm going to Moody, but I was just praying to God that he would help me work through my feelings and not ignore them and not pretend like they're not there, because I don't want to go through life feeling like I made the wrong decision when I know deep in my spirit that God would use me in either program I did. I was also praying that God would help me decide what I wanted to do for next semester, because our school gave us an option to either stay home and do everything online or to be in campus for it. Obviously, the school prayed over this very thoroughly because it's a pretty big deal having a school in the middle of Chicago when the coronavirus is really devastating and detrimental in places in large cities like that. So yeah, I just was praying about it because immediately in my head I made one decision, but then I took a step back and I was like, I don't want to be too hasty myself to make a decision about online or about going to school. I just want God to use me and I want to be there for him in the fullest capacity. So I don't want to be the one to make the decision. I want to pray on it and discern in my spirit. And then also I want to go to the location or be in whatever present environment I feel like I'll learn best in, because I really want to soak in all the knowledge that I'm going to be learning there, and I don't want to make a decision out of comfort or split-second thinking. I really want to think to myself, what environment can I best learn in, what environment. Literally the reason why I want to go to Moody is because I just want my whole life to be lived out for him, and I want every decision that I make to reflect that, and I want to glorify God wherever he leads me. And part of that glorification, not glorification, but part of wanting to do things for his glory and part of the sanctification process is really handing decisions over to him and having open hands about things that are happening, no matter how you feel and no matter your anxieties, and just saying, you lead, I follow. And it might not be easy, but I know that wherever you put me is where you want me, and it's where you're going to grow me, and my character is going to be built. And so I'm just praying for a year rooted in him, and a year where I just want to see explosive growth, and I want to see just increased reliance on him. So I'm really trying to lean into that and just have faith in him and go where he leads me. So that's my praying in silence. I was listening to this awesome album by Joey Alexander called Warna. He is a jazz artist. I love jazz. It's like the best. Okay, her second step is to read Psalm 119, 1 through 8, and to read it multiple times. Okay, so I just went through Psalm 119, 1 through 8. Oh, she said to read it multiple times. Okay, never mind. I will read through it a couple more times. Okay, so now I've read it multiple times like she asked, and I will say that each time you read it, you get more out of it. And Psalm 119, 1 through 8 is just fire. I love it. I love it so much. And I love it even more now that I just read it. And I love that it's a part of her quiet time routine, is just reading Psalm 119, 1 through 8 multiple times. Okay, her step 4 says to meditate on Psalm 119, 1. And then her step 5 is to pray Psalm 119, 1. You can journal a prayer to God. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be journaling my prayer to God, meditating on it, praying on it. And I'm really excited to do that. I didn't know that I needed my journal, so I'm gonna go grab that. So I just did 4 and 5. Now her 6 steps, she says, is optional. She says paint and listen to worship music, or go on a prayer / meditation / memorization walk. I wondered if she was gonna have me do that, because I do see her do prayer meditation walks often. And so I was kind of excited about that. So I think I'm going to do that, and I'm going to pick a verse that I want. Since I already meditated on Psalm 119, 1, I think I'm going to meditate on something else. So these are the verses that I picked.
I need the commentary.
The commentary. I can't say I know what it is.
You know, there's just something about being in nature and meditating on God's word that is so relaxing and restoring. I'm really grateful that Ashlee had me do this on her list. I really like it. It kind of got me thinking her quiet time routine is so beautiful in and of itself, and I can see how it really works for her. There was a lot more steps that were meditative, and there were more times of quiet stillness that I really appreciated, that I definitely want to incorporate more into my routine instead of just always thinking and always reading or doing, maybe just to sit and be still. I'm just so grateful for this. Thank you, Ashlee, for giving me your quiet time routine. I loved doing it, and this was honestly such a fun video, and I would recommend you guys to maybe do it with your friends or your sibling to swap routines. It's just kind of fun and different. But I think you might find that you'll learn in a different way, and you will appreciate new ways to grow closer to God. So yeah, that's a wrap. I loved it. I loved it.
Let's see what Taylor has for me on her quiet time list. This is what Taylor does during her quiet time. 1. Journaling, a must. I journal about what is weighing on me or just reflect on the day before. I talk about what I want my day to look like and challenge myself to choose joy for the day and positivity, even if I don't feel like it in the moment. It's really good. Really good. I guess I better go grab my journal. Okay, I got my Bible. I got my notebook, and I'm going to start with journaling. I'm going to use the Arteza tweed markers. I'll have them linked down below. So I started out by doing her first step of journaling, and I don't know if Taylor does this, but I turned it into a prayer, and I actually really enjoyed her prompts of like reflect on the day before, write about what's weighing on you, talk about what you want your day to look like, challenge herself to choose joy. I really like that. So today wasn't the best start to my day, and I'm just being real and honest with you guys. Every day is not perfect for me or amazing or more joyful or great, but I really like her journaling prompt because today probably wasn't the best start to a day, but praying is really gonna help things turn it around. I wrote, "Dear God, today didn't start the best. For some reason, I got agitated so fast. I was impatient, and for some reason, I felt like I had already wasted my day. I'm sorry, God. Redeem my day and turn it around. I really long to be filled with your spirit today. Please help me to be filled by you. Help clothe me with patience, love, humility, meekness, gentleness, and self-control. All these are things I can't do without you. Help me, God. I love you. I want to live for you." Okay, so the second thing on her quiet time list is Bible reading. She says, "I read one chapter at a time with the overall goal of finishing one book. Each day I read one chapter, even if it feels long or if I'm not motivated." Really good. Today I read Acts 13, so you should too. Read your study notes if you don't understand and highlight what stands out to you. So I am going to read Acts 13. So I just read through the chapter and just kind of went slowly through it and highlighted the things that stood out to me. It was a really good chapter on Paul and Barnabas evangelizing, and just read through it. It was a very good chapter on Acts, and kind of refreshing to hear about Paul sharing the gospel. I haven't read Acts in a long time, and kind of motivating me to want to share the gospel. So yeah, the third thing on Taylor's quiet time list is, she said, commentary. I usually will open a commentary on the chapter I just read for a deeper dive. I don't do it all days, just depending what time it is. So I'm going to go grab a commentary and just start reading through that. So I just grabbed the Wiersbe Bible commentary, and I will try to have all the products I'm using linked in the description. I will link this. This is just an ESV journaling Bible. I will try to have that linked in the description. And then I've also been using these Arteza Twee markers. I'll have those linked. You guys know I link those like in every video. And then this just a notebook set is also from Amazon, so I'll have that linked in the description. So now I'm doing the third step, which is the commentary step. So I'm going to read through the commentary for Acts 13. So I just read through this commentary, and it was really eye-opening. I love being able to have a commentary with me, as does Taylor, as we study the Bible, because it kind of is eye-opening to see what a scholar has studied and explaining the verse, especially if you don't understand it. I would highly recommend these commentaries because they're good for literally any believer, like no matter where you're at in your walk of faith. I think the biggest takeaway that I got out of this quiet time was just reading about Paul's fire to spread the gospel, and Barnabas also it was just so encouraging to read, and just a good reminder to me, and kind of convicting for me to ask myself, have I been sharing the gospel, and have I been walking in faith and sharing the gospel? And a lot of times I'm too afraid to share the gospel, and so that is something that I will pray about as I close my time in prayer. I love the ending of this, how they were persecuted for their faith, yet they shook off the dust from their feet against them and went to Iconium, and the disciples were filled with the joy and the Holy Spirit. And just seeing that ending of, although they were persecuted, they shook the dust off their feet and they just continued on sharing the gospel. And not everyone's going to love you for sharing the gospel. In fact, people will probably hate you. But I think that's a sign that maybe you're doing something right. So my prayer is that God would just help make me bold in sharing the gospel to anyone he puts on my path. It has to be a work of him in my heart. And I will be praying the same for you as well. That is all for Taylor's quiet time. I really enjoyed what she does. Maybe I'll make a blog post and just type this up for you guys so that if you want to do Taylor's quiet time, you can. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. So we're done with the quiet time routines. What did you think? I want to hear.
I loved it.
You did?
I really liked it. I was just telling them that you had a lot more steps of quietness and meditation that I liked doing. So I'm really glad that I was given the opportunity to go off this sheet.
I really liked yours a lot.
What?
Love.
Every part of it. Yep. You like journaling? I noticed that you didn't journal how you were feeling at the beginning, but you just sit and do it. Yeah. Yep. I do like journaling. That was nice.
How many pages did you journal?
I think only 1.
I usually journal 4.
What the?
But my notebook is small, 2 to 4. I figured you'd only do 1. Originally, I was like, I'm gonna put a page thing on there, so you have to write 4 pages, but I was like, I don't want to force you too much into mine, just.
Yep. I was thinking that we could put our quiet times on a blog post, and then if they want to do them, they can.
Totally. Love that idea.
We hope you guys enjoy this video, and see you soon.